Today we have the best cards at each position right now in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. We are of course in the end game. Probably one more of these videos before the year is over. We are going to be filling out this lineup. I guess you're seeing it somewhere. This lineup, this blank lineup by the end of today's video. And we are going to, just talk best cards at each position. This is different than my building the best team in the game video, but kind of similar at this point of the year because usually, it's June. You don't really need a theme team or anything like that. You can kind of just use whatever the cards are best. So I guess this video does kind of double. But before we get started, if you are part of the 59, I believe we're at, % of people who watch the videos and are not subscribed, let's change that right now. Head down there, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. Let's get started with the offensive line. The first card is actually one that is coming out tomorrow, but we know he's coming out. So, the fan vote, he's going to get Secure Protector with these stats. So Joe Thomas is the best left tackle. Before him, honestly, it probably was Andrew Thomas with 0 AP Secure Protector or Garrett Bowles. So we're just going to fill in the old Joe Thomas here, but just know we are referring to the new, the newer version of Joe Thomas. At left guard, this one's pretty easy. It is simply Russ Grimm. Quentin Nelson is also good, but Russ Grimm is just better at this point. Kevin Mawe for center. And I'll explain why for Kevin Mawe. I'm actually not 100% sure how to say his name. Moai, something like that. Before my time as a Jet there, 2005 to 1998. Before my time. A little bit before my time. But Kevin Mawe here, he does get the Vanguard ability for 1 AP. Jason Kelsey gets it for 3 at center. Mawe is going to get it for 1 AP with Identifier and Secure as well at center. He can obviously play anywhere, good enough speed. Definitely a card I still need to add to my team, but 500k is reasonable. I actually might go after him at that price. Next up, Will Shields, easy one there. Again, just loaded ability, Secure for free, all that good stuff. And I would go JC Latham here for the right tackles. So that's the offensive line. Let me know what you guys think. I think it looks pretty solid. I'm going to go with that. We now have tight end, and tight end's a position right now where there's 3 guys I like that are all kind of different. So Travis Kelsey I like because he's 6'5". If you want a bigger body, kind of red zone, big target guy, then Travis would be your guy. Okay, simple as that. He's 6'5", 260, and his abilities are also really good as he's able to get Yak him up and Vanguard. Okay, Yak him up and Vanguard. This guy said, he went from a wasted golden ticket to tight end 1. Literally, these 2 abilities here together make him so good, even as a wide receiver. Vanguard, Yak him up together. And evasive, I wouldn't go with on him because he is 260. He's not going to have the good animations anyway, so I would actually go with route tech. So Travis Kelsey to me, big target, broken X factors. I do think he is the number 1, but I will give you guys some more options here. The next one here is going to be Evan Ingram. He is able to move like a receiver because he's 240, 6'3", so he's going to have the good juke animation. Also does get good abilities, including Yak him up, and is able to get Vanguard as an ability, as an X factor, not an ability like Travis Kelsey, which there is. That definitely hurts the card a little bit. Also, I like Algie Crumpler as well, mainly because he's smaller. At tight end, he doesn't get the good juke animation, but of course being smaller is a benefit when it comes to when it comes to KOs, not getting KO'd. So having a smaller tight end with these stats and being able to run block and all that good stuff, and the man is also able to get Vanguard as well. No Yak up as well, like on Travis Kelsey, but he's able to get Vanguard, and he's a smaller body, which I know people do like. And it is kind of It is kind of hard to find a smaller tight end in this game right now that still has good stats. So those are my 3 tight ends. I think there are 3 different ones, but to me, number 1 is Travis Kelsey because he is able to get Vanguard and Yak him up. And then these bottom 2, it's kind of pick what you want. Whatever fits your play style or what you're looking for at tight end, you go with that. Let's get over to the defense and let's talk cornerback. So cornerback is a position that I really don't like. I don't feel confident about these cornerbacks. I'm going to say that off rip. I think the number 1 cornerback in the game right now is Kyrie Jackson, but you can't get him yet. And I will explain why. It's because he is actually able to get, first of all, there's 2 discounted buckets, 0 AP, and 3 X factors as ability. By the time you're able to get this card, the game will probably be pretty much over, but we do have to mention this card as reinforcement with run stuffer and avalanche on a corner is stupid, and you can toss mid zone on him too. That's a 0 AP setup and whatever else you want. So Kyrie Jackson, He's number one, really, without debate, but you really can't get him yet. So, I mean, there is like one up on the auction house right now. You got glitched up there, but he is there technically. I'm going to go Charvarius Ward here. Charvarius Ward, and there is kind of different things you value in a cornerback right now. Are you playing man or are you playing zone? There are some guys that can do both. Charvarius Ward's one of them. As he's able to get bottleneck, that's the big one. If you want to go bottleneck, but universal coverage as an ability, there is a lot of value in that. I wish they just showed who gets universal as an ability instead of just the X factors. You know what I mean? But universal coverage as an ability can't be shut off by anything on the whole game, which is very good for zone and man. And you can play zone or man with the card, depending on what you want to do there. Film study, it's all there. Charvarius Ward is really, really good. He has to be mentioned. Revis is the same kind of thing there. Revis is a man and zone guy. You can play him in either. That's how I use him. Does get film study, but you get universal. I think I was going secure tackler, and I think I was using pick artist on him. Maybe I was using film study. I don't remember what my setup is on Revis right now, but I know I use this, and he does get bottleneck as an ability. So you get bottleneck, which if you don't know how broken bottleneck is, it is broken. Every once in a while, I'll man press Revis just to, kind of throw off a route or whatever, and bottleneck will put in work. So I think right now I really like the idea of getting corners that can do both, get guys with bottleneck, press man every once in a while just to kind of give your opponent a different look. I really do like it. So bottleneck's really good. Revis is really good, and I think he needs to be mentioned here today. Right here, this one's tough. Okay, I also am going to go with Mark Bavaro. I like his build a lot. Love the way he plays. Love his abilities too. So Bavaro's here. Bavaro honestly might be here. And then cornerback 4, I was with Dion. His abilities do fall short a little bit for me. Joe Walt, his build is good, but honestly, his 94 debatably could be better. Even like this Kyle Pitts card is one I really like too. There's a lot of cards I like here at cornerback 4, but I think I am going to go with Night Train Lane. Night Train Lane cards always play well. This one's no different. Good tackling stats, really good abilities. Again, can be a guy that can play man or zone. We'll get charge X factors too, so you can do whatever you want with that. Is he perfect? No, but I do think that we're waiting. I mean, there will be some better corners that come out, and people are going to be like, where's Asante? To me, Asante does miss on the abilities. He does get bottleneck, but he does miss a little bit on the abilities, and I'll show you what I mean right now if you want to see. Andy is 5'10". It doesn't matter that much. But you're just gonna see right here, he does get bottleneck as an ability, a pre-bake the same way Revis does, and then reinforcement 1, and then you don't get any zone KOs. So I think with reinforcement, I would like if he had mid zone in here, he would probably be on here. I think he's right outside of it, honestly, looking in. I think he is. If he got mid zone with reinforcement, that would be broken with bottleneck, and you can go tackle supreme with something like that. I think if you play man, Asante's a must though, because you can go. You don't even need to really run reinforcement. I know, yes you do, because you need the KO. So you go reinforcement, bench press, one step tackle supreme. I guess is what you would do. I don't think you really need bench press, honestly. So I guess it kind of is between Asante and between Night Train. It is close. Let me know what you guys think about the corner. Who are your top corners right now? I was really stuck on this one because they're after the guys that get these ability X factors, there's a bit of a fall off. If I am missing someone, also let me know. I don't think I am, but that one's tough. All right, next up, let's do our front 4 here. This one's gonna be pretty easy. Hutchinson, 0 AP momentum shift that wipes pre-lit. For defensive tackle, we're gonna go Joe Klecko and John Randall for our 1 and 2 right here. Both get, of course, the pre-lit ability. X factors, or not pre-lit, just X factors that are abilities. Right end, another pretty easy one in my opinion, Julius Peppers. This could also be Calais. I think they're both really good. I would lean Julius. Personally. I think he moves better. If you want Calais for defensive tackle, that one could play. He honestly could fit like in here with these guys. He definitely could, 100%. So that's our front, and we have our corners. Let's get into let's do safeties. Again, safety's another one I don't really love right now, but I think Larry Wilson definitely should be in here. Without question, Larry Wilson deserves it. His hit power might be a little bit low, but I do force fumble still with the card because you have Avalanche on the card. Avalanche and Fortress Supreme with universal coverage is what I'm running with right now. I like it a lot, and you do get pick artist. So Larry Wilson, I think, deserves to be up here for sure. Also, we are going to go with Ronnie Lott, and the explanation for Ronnie Lott is that he doesn't get many zone KOs, but he gets enough, and I'll explain why. Right here, he's able to get reinforcement, and then all you have to do, it gets weird with this card because it is kind of tough. It's weird because reinforcement's good, and like, oh man, You would want to argue like running mid zone's worth it on him, but I would actually probably say no. I would go Avalanche and Fortress Supreme. And I probably wouldn't even run one step. I would just go Avalanche and Fortress Supreme with reinforcement and call that a day. And I think that puts Ronnie Lott up here. I think it does. I think it does. And I wish he had, if he had discounted mid zone, he probably would be number one because the mid zone reinforcement tech is strong and it's very good. But that's probably what I would say. And then for strong safety, I think Cam Chancellor does still deserve to be mentioned in the strong safety conversation, as his card is just so before its time. As you can see, is it as good as it should be now? No, but it's still like this is still a good stack for an over-the-top guy or a guy you're going to user. But I'm going to go Ryan Neal here. Ryan Neal is a very good card, and you're going to notice these Division Dynasty Champions were some of the best cards in the game. They really are. And let's take a look at Ryan Neal right here. I mean, this card is really good. I mean, what doesn't he have that you would like? He's 6'3", 200, good build, can play over the top, can be your user with that size. Good tackling stats, good coverage, good speed. And for the abilities, he's going to get a bunch of discounts, able to get pick artist, which is actually effective at his height at 6'3". Really good discount abilities, and is able to get universal coverage there. Or Avalanche or Tackle Supreme, whatever you want to do. So I think a really good versatility on this card. Really good card, can be your user, can play over the top. I think Ryan Neal deserves to be in this conversation. But again, let me know what you think about the safeties. I think these are pretty set in stone, in my opinion, but still let me know down below. I mean, while we're here, let's finish off the defense. So I got a bunch of different options here. For pass rush, at right outside linebacker, I want Derek Thomas, but Derek Thomas is also a really good drop 6-1 guy, as he actually is able to get Colossus and universal coverage if you're playing him as a drop guy. Bottleneck to me doesn't make sense, but Colossus, universal, and lurk artist as a guy you can either click on and user with, or have him just kind of drop out and do his own thing. There's a lot of value in that, 100%. I'm sorry, you don't even need Colossus because he gets unstoppable force. So I didn't even notice that when I first looked at this card. But universal coverage, I would probably go universal coverage, edge shirt, elite, lurk artist, and then I would probably go unstoppable force. The only problem is I think Colossus is slightly better, but I guess you could go both or two, like if you want to. So as far as pass rush goes at this position, I like Derek Thomas. If you want a user from this position, it is clearly Randy Moss. And by the way, honorable mention is Odafe Owe. I want to make that clear. He would have been here if Derek Thomas didn't exist. But Randy Moss as the user, he's a stud card. We all know that. Don't pass rush with this guy, but user him as like a linebacker, or let him lurk by himself as a linebacker, like middle linebacker, sub linebacker for him. Left outside linebacker, I'm going to go Cornelius Bennett. I really do not like any left outside linebacker as far as pass rush goes. So unfortunately, it feels weird putting Cornelius up here, but he gets good trades. The card plays well. He's played well this whole year, so Cornelius does make it up there for left outside linebacker. And then for our user, give me Calvin. Again, he can actually rush the passer pretty well too. But his traits he was kind of robbed on this card. His traits are actually really bad, as you can see right there. So that is our left outside linebacker. And for middle linebacker, this one, I got a bunch of different options. We're going to go Terrell Bernard. I think Terrell Bernard, his ability stack is probably the best for linebackers. It probably is. You get all these 0 APs, you get charge ups, you get lurk artist pretty big. And you can go reinforcement mid zone, which again is a very real thing. It works very well, whether you're going to use the card or let him lurk by himself. Only problem with him is his speed. It's only 96, but can be boosted with the Jets, Bills team, whatever. I got to get him for my team personally. I've been kind of slacking on picking up cards, but Terrell Bernard, yeah, and also like his agility is a problem, but like his ability setup is the best for a linebacker. We should also mention a cheaper option here, who plays great. That's gonna be Jordan Mailata, which is pretty obvious there. While he deserves it, 6'8", moves great, can stop the run, gets Avalanche, and Fortress Supreme. And finally, I think the guy who moves the best and animates the best, has been the most frustrating to play against is Gronk. From his 0 chill card to now, he still moves great, plays great, animates great, all that good stuff. Are his abilities perfect? I would argue no. I think Terrell Bernard's abilities are better. But here are your options for linebackers. We have pass rush options, we have user options, and a bunch of different options for the middle linebacker position itself. All right, let's finish off the offense. Okay, we'll get started with the fullback. This one's easy. It is clearly and obviously Franco Harris. For one reason and one reason only, he gets Vanguard. Okay, that's all we got to know. Tip drill is kind of a funny one too that he gets. But he gets Freight Train and he gets tip drill's funny. I wish they did that stuff more often. That's pretty cool. But Vanguard, Yeah, on a fullback. Yeah, he's going for a lot for a reason. Makes sense. Let's talk running back. People were really upset that I didn't have Jamal Charles up here. For me, Jamal Charles, let's talk about him. His movement to me is average, okay? Of course, all the zero APs are really good, but all you really need on a running back to be effective is a good a good ability X factor or charge up X factor. And in my opinion, he does get a good charge up, but he does like first one free as his ability X factor. It would have been much better if he had angry runs like Walter Payton has. First one free doesn't make that big of a difference compared to someone with angry runs. And you can go with both. Yes, you can. But you're really only filling the angry runs. You're not even really using the first one free. It's just kind of there. And then for all the zero AP abilities, yeah, they're good, but they don't make that big of a difference. Like, just all you really need is, in my opinion, I like the joystick evasive and, one X factor, whether it's an ability or a charge. That's all you really need on a running back. Obviously, the stats are great, but I just think he kind of moves average. Of course, the abilities are over the stats. The stats are great, but that's my thoughts on Jamal Charles. And the reason why I would take, like, if I'm looking for an elusive back, I would take Walter Payton over him. Walter Payton gets the best running back ability, or X factor, as an ability, and it cannot be shut off. It cannot be countered. The card moves fine. He plays great, has a unique running style, breaks tackles, has good strength. Just a really good card. So as far as elusive back goes, I'm going to go with Walter Payton as my option. And as far as power back goes, I don't know if I said this well enough in the running back tier list video, but Perry is not, if you run a lot of stretch, Perry's not going to feel good for you. You're going to feel like the card sucks because so much of stretch runs is cutting back the run with a juke move, which is the most broken move in this game. If you like running between the tackles, power runs, inside zones, trap runs, draw, like stuff, things like that, that's where Perry feels super broken. And I think if you play someone who's effective at running between the tackles and they have William Perry, good luck, you're in for a long game. So power back, Perry, and then Walter Payton for my elusive back. That's what I'm going with. Of course, there are some other guys that I didn't mention, but those are my thoughts at the running back position. Okay, we now have our wide receivers, and I'm going to get started with, where is he? Keon Coleman. He is very similar to Kyrie Jackson in the fact that he is able to get all the zero AP ability or X factors. So you get Yak 'em up, you get Double Me, and you can I would probably go first one free, and then you get all the zero AP abilities as well. So, and he's also 6'3", so he's a good size, can be your big body receiver out there. So Keon Coleman, once obtainable, and get after the card. And next up, CeeDee Lamb. Give me CeeDee Lamb here, 6'2". I like my receiving core right now. Ideally, is like a 6'4" guy, a 6'2" guy, a guy who's 6 foot. I think that's like 6 foot down. I think it's pretty good. But CeeDee Lamb, his cards always play great. This one's no different. Really good abilities, good pre-banks, good X factors. For the big one, of course, Yak 'em up as an ability. So CeeDee Lamb, we love to see it there. Next up, another guy who's going to get Yak 'em up as an ability is Marvin Harrison Jr. And he's smaller, so he does get the good possession catch animations, able to avoid KOs very well, which of course I like. Actually, I had Keon Coleman here, but I only did 3 receivers. And then finally, we are going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. for the bigger body guy. Kind of an honorable mention, I guess, would be D-Jax. The only problem with D-Jax is the fact that he can't get Yak 'em up as an ability. Of course, these cards do get the charges, but he doesn't get Yak 'em up as an ability, which is the only knock on this card. But he does get down easily. Obviously, plays great. So that's probably what I'm looking at right now. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is kind of like the Brady of wide receivers, as he gets like all these 0 AP abilities with good size and Yak 'em up or angry runs. Yeah, he's broken. Okay, he's very good. The only downfall is his height with KOs. Marvin Harrison Senior, he's the way to get around that. Also, Deshaun Jackson to get around that. And CeeDee Lamb, kind of like 6'2", kind of in that middle range. He moves great, plays great, all good after the catch. But finally, we have QB. And this one is really no debate to me. Only reason why you wouldn't be using this guy is if you don't like him or if you're sick of him. And that is Tom Brady. He is the best MUT QB of all time. The release is butter. Everything about the card is butter. I think the only guy that could have been close to him, people are going to say RG3. RG3 is a fun card and he's definitely good, can win you games. But he's not as good as Tom Brady, let's face it. The only guy that could be close is the Warren Moon card. The only problem is his release is not as good, and same with Mahomes. Doesn't have the Brady release, the best release in the game. But this ability stack is just straight up stupid. He's the best QB in the game right now. You can debate me. You can win games with other guys, don't get me wrong, but Tom Brady is the best. I hate it. Trust me, I don't like to say it either, but he is, okay? He's the best QB, and here is the final best offense and defense in the game right now. And special teams as well. It's actually both free cards. We have Pat McAfee and Koo. Younghoe Koo is the best kicker in the game, and he's free. So you have 2 free cards making it here today. But damn, we're in the end game. I might try to do one more of these videos in like a month from now, which will leave us about a month away from Madden 25. Yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, drop a comment down below. Who did I miss? Did I not put your favorite player on here? Let me know.